Assalamualaikum everyone. I hope all of you are doing well. So in this video, I will be discussing about Sigmund Freud's psychosexual stages and defense mechanism. So let's start. So Freud proposed that personality development in childhood takes place during 5 psychosexual stages, which are on oral, anal, phallic, latent and genital stages. During each stage, sexual energy that we call as libido is expressed in different ways and through different parts of the body. These are called psychosexual stages because each stage represents the fixation of libido, roughly translated as sexual drives or instincts, on a different area of the body. As a person grows physically, certain area of their body become important as sources of potential frustration, erogenous zone, pleasures or both. So the first stage is oral stage. It starts from 0 to 2 years of age, and activities include infant achieves gratification through oral activities such as feeding, thumb, sucking and babbling. The second stage is anal stage. It starts from 2 to 3 years of age. The child learns to respond to some of the demands of the society such as bowel and bladder control in this stage. The third stage is phallic stage. In this stage, basically it starts from 3 to 7 years of age, and in this stage, the child learns to realize the differences between males and females and become aware of the sexuality. So the fourth stage is latent or latency. This starts from 7 to 11 years of age, and in this stage the child continues his or her development but sexual urges are relatively quiet. The fifth stage is genital. In this stage or the last stage of psychosexual development, it starts from 11 years till adult. In this stage, the growing adolescent shakes off old dependencies and learn to deal maturely with the opposite sex. So as you can see in the picture, as I already discussed about 5 psychosexual stages, in this oral and anal stage, ego develops. And in phallic and latent and genital stage, superego develops. As I already discussed about what is ego and superego, ego basically deals with the reality principle, but superego basically adds morality principle with reality. Now what is defense mechanism? So the first defense mechanism or the mechanism include repression. Repression is an unconscious mechanism employed by the ego to keep disturbing or threatening thoughts from becoming conscious. For example, during the Oedipus complex, aggressive thoughts about the same sex parents are repressed. The second mechanism is denial. Denial involves blocking external events from awareness. If some situation is just too much to handle, the person just refuses to experience it. For example, smoker may refuse to admit to themselves that smoking is bad for their health. The third mechanism is projection. This involves individuals' attribution or attributing their own unacceptable thoughts, feelings and motives to another. For example, you might hate someone, but your superego tells you that such hatred is unacceptable. You can solve the problem by believing that they hate you. The fourth mechanism is displacement. It is satisfying an impulse, for example aggression, with a substitute object. For example, someone who is frustrated by his or her boss at work may go home and kick the dog. Fifth mechanism is regression. This is a movement back in psychological time when one is faced with stress. For example, a child may begin to suck their thumb again or wet the bed when they need to spend some time in the hospital. The last mechanism is sublimation. It is satisfying an impulse like aggression with a substitute object just like displacement, but the difference is that in a socially acceptable way. For example, sports is an example of putting our emotion, for example aggression, into something constructive. So these are the 6 mechanisms or defense mechanism that we discussed. Now another important concept by Sigmund Freud is Freudian slip. Freudian slip is basically an unconscious thoughts and feelings can transfer the conscious mind in the form of paraxis or para-paraxis lapse in memory, popularly known as Freudian slips of the tongue. We reveal that what is really on our mind by saying something we did not mean to. For example, a nutritionist giving a lecture intended to say, we should always demand the best in the bread, but instead said bed. Another example is where a person may call a friend's new partner by the name of previous one whom we liked better. For example, A is that what do you want to eat, bread and butter or cake, and the B example is bed and butter. So basically Freud believed that slip of the tongue provide an insight into the unconscious mind and that there were no accidents. Every behavior including slip of tongue was significant, that is, all behavior is determined. Misreading, misspelling, casual remarks and mishearing and mistyping etc. are the types or are the important for Freudian slip because it talks about something present in our unconscious mind. So in this video we discussed about Freudian slip, defense mechanism and 5 psychosexual stages. So that's all from my side. If you have any queries you can ask me in the comment section. Please like, subscribe and share my channel. Thank you for watching.